The forests in Yuru Camp are not just a setting, but come to life on their own as a character. However, for all that the forests are allowed to speak and sing and scare, the true life of Japan's forests remains secret. This is intentional. The forests are only part of the show's main goal, sharing the joy of camping. You don't need to understand anything to appreciate nature or Yuru Camp, but it can still be interesting to learn about where the show came from and its vibrant backdrop. I found the story of the show's creation to be encouraging but expected. On the other hand, the story of how humans have integrally transformed a supposedly natural landscape defies expectations and might change how you view all forests. Yuru Camp's publication story covers persistence, assistance, and a bit of luck. Afro started their career with 2 briefly serialized 4-koma manga. Though dispirited by their poor reception, they then contributed to a well-received Madoka Magica art book. Encouraged by the response, Afro decided to try another manga, which became Yuru Camp. Here you can see some early character designs. Shockingly, Rin's famous bun originally belonged to Nadeshiko. We can only speculate how the finalization of this concept would have altered the course of history. Afro wanted to express the rush that they get from camping and make its enjoyment known to people from all over. It took some time for them to move beyond the fixed structure of a 4-koma. The outcome of this effort can be seen in these early layouts. Full-page spreads better reflect the experience of actually being there and will later translate well into animation. Afro keeps a low public profile, but we also know that they were born in Yamanashi and currently reside in Shizuoka. It is no coincidence that this is the same as Nadeshiko's journey, as mentioned in the first episode. They have said that the proximity makes it convenient to do location research, a must for these works very situated in physical space. Let's next explore this physical space and examine the scenery of Japan. Forests feature centrally in Yuru Camp, but to understand them we have to go beyond, far beyond the confines of the anime, and break through a few common misconceptions. The secret life of forests is that they are not purely natural and distinct from the world of humans, but rather exist through centuries of human intervention. This is not obvious. Popular media and presentations of forests draw it in opposition to the human world. It's easy to imagine that most forests are what are called old-growth forests, where nature has been allowed to take its course with minimal perturbances for thousands of years. The tendency is even greater when thinking about Japan, which many have seen as being in tune with tradition, nature-orientated, and protective of its natural landscapes. Japan is heavily forested, with about 2/3 of the country covered in forest. However, 40% of this are tree plantations. The remaining 60% of natural forest is mostly secondary forests, which are logged without replanting and allowed to naturally regenerate. The proportion of untouched old-growth forest in Japan is estimated to be only 5%. Consider this Japanese mountain scene. It looks completely typical, but then you might notice that it is almost exclusively one species of conifer, the result of monocultural replanting after World War II, and there's a clear-cut area in the distance. Another misconception is that the high proportion of secondary forests and plantations is due solely to overexploitation in the industrial and modern era. It's certainly the case that the past 100 years have been particularly impactful, but extensive human involvement with forests has been going on in Japan and throughout the world for centuries. There's evidence from as early as 600 CE of severe deforestation. In 1710, during the Edo period, the needs of castles and other large projects led to the clearing of great areas of accessible old-growth timber. Leaders such as Tokugawa Ieyasu saw control over wooded areas as a strategic resource. By the 18th century, facing shortages and conflicts over the best use of land, whether for timber, fuelwood, or fertilizer, government leaders realized that timber resources needed protection and expansion through reforesting. Pre-industrial Japan was neither primitive nor in special harmony with nature. They understood how to manage and exploit forest resources. Finally, the forests of today continue to closely reflect human intervention and objectives. Environmental, aesthetic, and even cultural and religious benefits all derive from forests, and forest management has to balance between these different purposes as well as the wishes of the public. This creating a certain type of forest applies even to campgrounds that are ostensibly natural. Some areas in Japan promote themselves as having natural vegetation species, while others rely on the fact that monocultures of conifers can be considered quite attractive. Still, other forests take a different route entirely, such as a theme park in Okayama, which tries to emulate the landscape and foliage of Germany. There's no one forest, and nothing taken for granted. What kind of forest do we want? Yuru Camp shares with us the joy of camping and of experiencing forests the way that they are. Afro's vision resonates with the popular conception of forest, and their cozy execution has created a runaway success. I'm grateful for their hopeful reminder to enjoy food, friends, and the outdoors. The broader context introduced in this video is not meant to portray Yuru Camp as an inactive bystander that is ignorant of the secret life of forests. Rather, it suggests the complete opposite. We have seen the widespread impacts of human needs on forests. This influence is based on expectations of the public about what a forest should be. This brings us to a surprising conclusion. Yuru Camp is not merely passively inspired by nature. Instead, through its depictions of a certain image of forests and how to coexist with them, it plays an active role in shaping the forests that people will create in the future. Thank you.